Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Minneapolis. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Jacob Van Lunen, and we are underway in round 4 here. Junyoung Park is using Misty Rainforest here to fetch out his first land. I'm trying to get a look at what he's got. Is this Scape Shift?
I think he's playing Scape Shift. Oh, man.
I saw a bunch of stomping grounds and breeding pools. That usually means Scape Shift. We'll get an idea as we move further into the match. He's playing, though, against number 6 in the world, Shahar Shenhar. Serum Visions for Junyoung Park, as he seems pretty crisp with the deck here. He's moving right through things. Shahar, I see a Lightning Bolt. Interesting. Is Shahar on the same deck?
I think Shahar is also playing Scape Shift.
Do we have a Scape Shift mirror? Wow, this is a deck, Jake, that you've really been looking for to perform well here this weekend. You said it would be the deck that you would play. Were you playing as opposed to in the booth?
Yeah, I think it's extremely well positioned for this weekend. I was, just my feel of the format. This is the deck I've been playing on Magic Online recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've been super impressed with it. I'm really not that surprised to see some Scape Shift here today.
Okay.
So
talk us through about how this deck works. What are the key cards that our viewers should be looking for to figure out who's ahead, who's behind, and what's actually happening?
Okay, so the most important thing is remaining ahead in terms of your land drops if you're playing the Scape Shift mirror. Secure Tribe Elder, as we see on Junyoung Park's side of the board, that's a really important key piece of that. You can chump block and then also use it as a rampant growth. Once you get 7 lands in play, you can use Scape Shift, and then you search your library for 6 cards that are mountains and Valakut, and then you get to deal 18 damage to your opponent.
Okay.
And in a format full of fetch lands and thought seizes and the shock lands, that's almost always enough to kill them. If it's not, you can wait till you have 8 lands, and then you can do 36 damage.
Okay.
By searching up a pair of Valakuts.
Also, these players have access to Lightning Bolt, which can help shore up that last 3 damage pretty easily. Now, what we saw here is Shahar played Serum Visions, which is the same play that Junyoung Park played on his first turn. Shahar passed a turn back, but on end step, June decided to crack that Sakura Tribe Elder to get ahead on land drops. You mentioned it a second ago, Jake, that it's all about staying ahead, and so far, June being on the play and having a Sakura Tribe Elder is now 2 lands ahead of the race here on Shahar, though Shahar should be hitting his land drop here.
All right, so Shahar, as we see now, we see he's drawn a Spell Skite. There's a Twisted Image in his hand, and he has a Tectonic Edge. So Shahar, and he has a basic island. Shahar is definitely not a Scape Shift deck.
Okay, he's not. So what do we think he's running here? Is Shahar running the Atarma Twin deck?
Actually, here, we have his deck list now. So Shahar is a Splinter Twin deck. And the green in his deck is just for splashing Ancient Grudge.
Okay.
Post sideboard. So Shahar is a blue-red Splinter Twin deck. But I am very excited that we get to watch the Scape Shift deck on one end here.
Okay. And don't be fooled either. The land drops are every bit as important for Shahar as they are for Junyoung Park, as Shahar needs to have a lot of mana to work with in order to get his combo off. He needs to find the pieces. He needs to be able to cast it and protect it. And now he's also got another chore. He has to make sure that June doesn't go off with his combo.
Correct.
Now, how good is Spellskite here?
Not very. I'm actually somewhat surprised to see June go ahead and remand that, especially because Shahar can just recast it. June might also just be, fishing for a card at that point, though. He gets to, cycle through, and then.
Now, Spellskite can redirect the. Here's Repeal. To send it back to June's hand. He is definitely digging for something here. Very aggressively, too.
Yes.
He has his opponent tapped out, but unfortunately he's only able to hit his 6th land here, so he is not quite into Scape Shift territory to kill Shahar. He's going to take 2 off of a Steam Vents here, though, and just pass the turn back with full 6 untapped mana.
Yeah, and a re-mana in his hand in addition to a Snapcaster Mage. So,
So the Spellskite, though, it can redirect the triggers from Valakut, right? To itself. Yes.
It can?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, he needs to pay a blue mana for each one of those if he doesn't want to take any damage, but he can reduce the damage by paying the Phyrexian mana, which is cost him 2 life instead of the 3 that he would be taking from Valakut.
That's true. So
it can matter.
It is relevant.
see what June wants to do here. Spellskite's on the stack once again.
We may see Snapcaster Mage for Cryptic Command.
Yeah, he's just going to run the Cryptic Command out there, assuming that he's going for the counter draw here. That's sort of the base for Cryptic Command in this type of matchup, though you will see all different iterations of Cryptic Command. And is this going to be Remand? Yeah, Shahar's going to Remand the Cryptic Command, tapping himself out here. And it looks like June wants to use his own Remand. What is he going to target? Is he going to target his Cryptic Command or the Remand? He's going to target the Remand, and that means that Spellskite gets countered. June gets to draw a card. He gets to draw another card here off of the Cryptic Command.
Neither one was a land, so does he draw a land here?
That is the question. Shahar's at 17, so he's in range. But June doesn't hit his land drop here somehow?
Nope.
Wow.
Oh, but he has a Search for Tomorrow, so he wins anyway. Search for Tomorrow puts the land into play untapped.
Yep.
So he gets to search for Tomorrow. He can search up a basic land here.
He's going to get a forest.
Yep. The forest
or actually,
an
he can get either, yeah.
Yep. And then he gets to cast Scape Shift and deal 18 points of damage to Shahar by searching up a Valakut. And
Shahar says, sure, but you got to make the Scape Shift player go through the motions, because one of the weaknesses to this deck is that it does have a hard time fitting in enough blue sources to be able to cast Cryptic Command, but also have enough mountains to be able to kill the opponent. And we've seen players on stream do this and then lose because they couldn't do enough. Now, that's not going to happen here. But
no, it's not going to happen.
No, but it does happen, and it's something that Shahar is being very prudent here and making sure that Junior Park actually shows him all of them, because, man, some of these Scape Shift lists cut it very close with how many mountains, and if they get a couple of them, maybe a Steam Vents gets Tectonic edged or something, or maybe a random discard spell hits a mountain, they can run out pretty quickly. All right, so Junior Park takes down that first game against Shahar Shenhar, a big counter fight over that Spellskite, and then the turn gets passed back to Junior Park, who finds the victory here.
It's a very powerful deck, the Scape Shift deck.
There's a lot of people that really like that list. You're not the only one, for sure. I know that Ben Stark is partial to Scape Shift.
Oh, really?
In Modern, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it feels very strong right now.
Okay. And you think it's particularly well positioned, right?
I do. I think that.
What makes you think that? What led you to that? Because I mean, we were doing some recorded segments that we're going to be showing you guys later today, earlier, and I asked you kind of what were the decks that you were looking out for, and Scape Shift was the first one that you mentioned.
Yeah. Now, I mean, one of the reasons why I think it's so well positioned is that a lot of combo decks these days are, trying to put multiple cards together, and they're fighting through things like Thoughtseize and a decent amount of counter magic in the format. But Scape Shift doesn't have to put cards together. If you draw a Scape Shift off the top of your library, you just win when you have enough lands in play. So
the two-card combo are lands and Scape Shift, and the other decks don't really mess with your lands that much.
Exactly. Okay. I mean, you can't Thoughtseize away one half of Scape Shift. It's either there or it isn't. And then you can Serum Visions into it, Electrolyze into it, Cryptic Command into it. You have all of these different routes to victory.
All right, let's take a quick look at our back table match. On the left, we have Luis Scott Vargas. I don't know who he's playing against yet, but we'll figure it.
He's playing against Zach Raff.
Zach Raff, thank you.
Yeah, who is playing Jund.
Did you see the name of it? He went for the full. He named it Lingering Ajundi. He's trying to get one of every card in his deck into the name somehow. And it looks like Luis is on Birthing Pod here of the Malira variety, and wow, his graveyard is huge.
It looks like he's already gone through a Revel Arc.
What has happened here?
This has been a grindy game. Ooh, Anger of the Gods.
I see an Anger of the Gods.
Thoughtseize happened.
This is the last call designed for these.
The Anger of the Gods exiles creatures when it kills them, so there could be some portion of these that are exiled. It seems weird if Anger of the Gods was played and Zach didn't exile anything. This is kind of a strange
Things
board
on the
state,
top
isn't it?
Could be. Yeah, so it looks like Luis just used the mana from Wall of Roots to activate Birthing Pod, sacrificing the Wall of Roots, searching up Eternal Witness, returning Restoration Angel from his graveyard back to his hand, then cast Restoration Angel during his main phase, blinking the Eternal Witness and returning. Did you see what card he returned from his graveyard to his hand?
Couldn't see.
Something.
Here's a Tarmogoyf for Zach.
All right, well.
The grind is on, though, for Luis Scott Vargas. I mean, this is when you start Restoration Angeling your Eternal Witnesses, things get out of hand pretty quickly, and there's a Kitchen Finks as well. And here's a land. He's going to use his Birthing Pod, take no damage here. Kitchen Finks gets sacked, gaining 2 life.
And is he going to find Linvala or another Restoration
He
Angel?
finds a Linvala here.
Okay.
You ready to go back to the other? Yeah, why don't we head back to our main match? I believe that Luis Scott Vargas is in the driver's seat there. I don't think that there's any way, unless he's at 3 or something like that. And he just gained 2, so it seems unlikely. Yeah, it feels like he's going to win that one. Yeah. But we're underway here with Shahar Shenhar playing Tarma Twin, and he's got Serum Visions on turn 1.
And we can likely expect to settle into a more Drago game 2. I think Jahar was a little bit aggressive with that Spell Scout in the last game. But then again, it is difficult to fight the counter war over Escape Shift. I mean, your opponent is ramping into lands, and they are super well equipped to fight that counter war.
And especially post-board here, right? I mean, won't June have brought in even more things that are great at protecting his spell?
Yes, specifically for the matchup.
Halimar Depths for June is interesting.
Yeah, it's a card we don't see too often in this format.
No. And as you predicted, Jake, we are in land go territory here.
Makes sense. Telling time? All right, so...
Looks like Shahar's going to read Telling Time. Why don't you read it for us while he does?
Okay, so Telling Time lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You put one of them in your hand, you put one on the top of your deck, and you put one on the bottom of your deck.
Oh, cool.
Yep, it's an instant for 2 mana. Pretty good card.
Little past, present, and future action there. And June passes a turn back. And Shahar's going to play a Stomping Grounds untapped and pass a turn back, dropping him down to 17.
All right, so lots of blue and red mana here for Junior Park. Still holding all these green sources in his hand, so maybe disguising them in some way or another.
And there's Repeal that's going to get dispelled. And Shahar shows him the Splinter Twin, and that's going to do it for game 2.
Yep.
So we have 2 combo finishes in 2 games so far. Both of them in pretty short order as well. Not a whole. There's a little bit of jockeying for position, a counterfight, and the game ended. That happened both times.
Yeah, so there, Shahar, that Dispel just was all he needed.
Which spell?
Dispel.
It's like both matches are currently shuffling, getting ready here, so we'll give you guys a little view of what it looks down in the feature match area. We've got our judge Jeff Foster there. He's down there pretty often. He knows the ropes.
Yeah, overseeing the feature match area for us.
There's Shahar Shenhar from Israel. He's a Platinum Pro as of last year with 53 Pro points and well on his way to being Platinum again this year. He's the world champion.
Yeah, he won the world championship last year, and the finals was actually modern. He was playing a blue-white-red control deck, though.
He was. Played against Reed Duke.
He was playing Hexproof.
Yeah, somehow Shahar beat him. I still don't know how the heck he came away with that, but we don't call him Lucky Shahar for nothing. The truth is, I think that we call him that because we're jealous of how good he is, though. He's a young dude, and he is really, really good at Magic.
Shahar Shenhar actually grew up playing at the store where Luis Scott Vargas and David Ochoa and Joshua Layton were always playing, and he was a small child.
Yeah.
And apparently was losing all of the time back then. And now he has grown up, and he is taller than all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he is very, very good at Magic now.
Yeah,
reigning world champion.
I've talked to Luis about him before, and he says he still just can't believe it. Little Shahar from the shop is just, crushing everybody.
Junyoung Park with some new sleeves. This deck keeps falling out of his hands.
Yeah, those are always slippery. It's a good feeling, new sleeves, but they also slide around a bit.
Right, looks like a pretty decent keeper for Shahar there.
Players in the 2 p.m. standard super round. Please go to the Chandra banner.
No green mana for Junyoung Park, but
and find your parents for round 1.
You mean none in his hand?
None in his hand.
Super round.
From the looks of it.
It's a little awkward.
Oh,
No, there's a forest. Liar.
I did see it.
I trusted you, Jake.
Yeah, I thought I was trustworthy.
You think we can recover from this? I think
Maybe
we can.
it's that white border forest.
Yeah, that is
an interesting forest to have chosen to play.
offensive.
Look at that.
But thanks to June, it does tap for green all the same. And it looks like he's going to suspend a search for tomorrow now. Didn't want to do it last turn. Wants
Which
to be able
is
to leave up his
reasonable.
mana here.
He's just trying to leave open some mana just in case something happens.
Shahar thought about cracking his Scalding Tarn on end step, but decided against it.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more lands in his hand, and by cracking that Scalding Tarn, he decreases the percentage of the time that he's drawing a land on the next turn by, some actual number.
A little tiny bit, but it's something.
Yeah,
Yep.
a couple percentage points. I mean, it's always good to maximize your chances in every way possible.
However, he is going to crack that Scalding Tarn now. Looks like he might just get an island here. Nope, he's going to get Steam Vents.
Yeah, so now only...
She's unmatching Steam Vents for Shahar now, too. This is some land choice etiquette mistakes here, but thankfully both of these guys play very well, so we'll have to forgive them.
Oh, yes, the unmatching Steam Vents. I didn't even catch that one.
I see it all, Jake. So Pestermite on end step here, and this is the interesting part about Shahar, about his deck list. I mean, right now, I don't think he has a Splinter Twin in his hand, and he couldn't cast it, but Junyoung Park just doesn't get to let him just resolve a Pestermite. Ooh, and he does draw the Splinter Twin there, but still doesn't have the land for it. And this is the curtains are going to kind of come back on the plan here for Shahar if he passes the turn back without doing anything. And I think that might be what he's forced to do here. I mean, his hand's obviously stacked up. They're all spells. He's got Echoing Truth. He's got Pestermite. He's got, I think, a pair of Deceiver Exarch. He's got 2 Remands. And he's going to just main face Pestermite here. What do you make of this, Jake?
I mean, it's very reasonable. His opponent has some mana tapped. He's just casting the Pestermite before his opponent has an opportunity to draw another card. It also, right now, he doesn't really have, he doesn't have the extra land. He doesn't have a way to, use it effectively. So, by just main facing the Pestermite,
Did he?
You know, he's. I mean, it turned out to not be good for him.
Did
because
June
his
draw a
opponent
card off of his Electrolyze there?
It's not an Electrolyze.
Oh, what was it?
Is it Charm?
Oh, it was Is It Charm. Thank you.
Yes.
I love that card.
Yes, that is an excellent card. That card is going to be featured in a standard deck that I'm writing about for Monday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So June took out the Pestermite before the Steam Vents was untapped. That's with the Pestermite's ability on the stack so that he could play around Dispel.
Yeah, I mean, he just lost that last game to Dispel.
Yep.
Doesn't want to lose this one, too. Gonna go ahead.
And there's the Sakura Tribe Elder. Looks like that is going to resolve, I guess. Shahar could have Spell Snare, but doesn't. And June's actually going to sack it right now.
Yeah, he wants to shuffle his library before he scries with the Serum Visions. And he does want to Serum Visions this turn, on his turn, because he wants to play a land for his turn.
Now, he's already gotten the Search for Tomorrowland, but not the natural land drop. Is that what you're
hasn't
saying?
gotten the natural land drop yet, so he's going to try to draw into that. Doesn't find it, but is able to put that Stomping Ground on the top of his deck here. Then he's going to be able to cast Telling Time main phase, which I'm pretty sure he's going to want to do.
And there's not a lot for him to fear if he passes the turn back here, right? It's not like Shahar can just kill him.
Yeah, it's unlikely that he could absolutely lose this next turn, but... Huh.
Some might disagree, but Sam's not here. He can't stop.
Was that your match?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, and June's just going to pass turn back.
That's fine. I mean,
There's
it's
a
opponent's
Blood
sense.
Moon off the top for Shahar.
Yeah, and I mean, he doesn't have the mana to protect the Blood Moon, so... In June Young Park's hand, also, I mean, his board, he also has a forest and 3 islands. So the Blood Moon currently turns Stomping Ground and Steam Vent into mountains.
But that can be pretty important if you're trying to resolve a spell with double green in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it turns off Blood Moon,
They're in game 2.
but
If they go to game
here
3,
he just
It turns off
loses
Blood
the
Moon?
game. Yeah. Well, okay. No, well, it turns off Valakut. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, and he plays this. That's it.
And he's just going to, as
All
long as he
she
has
wrote.
Scape Shift in his hand, which he does,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to end it. And there's Scape Shift, and that's going to do it. Shahar Shenhar has to extend the hand in the duel of the 2 combo decks. Your favorite one came out on top.